regular viewers may notice that this is an unusual broadcast. It's starting at 2 o'clock, so it's an hour early, and I'm not in the studio, and Charles is not here. But have no fear. The normal Sunday with Charles will resume at normal broadcast time. This place opened during the pandemic and is already closed. But it's going to be happening in the First Amendment Forum. People who haven't observed First Amendment Forum shows before are going to be able to do that by going to subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth and becoming a sponsor. And before people send me angry emails saying, oh, don't put Charles behind a paywall. You're terrible, Jason. I love your show, but I hate you. I watch it all the time, but I don't think it's worth anything. Before you do that, please keep in mind that this decision was prompted by actions which I allege on information and belief. Evidence that I see in the public domain causes me to think social engineers attacked the Sunday with Charles YouTube channel, and it's the second time that's happened. First, they complained and had the January 6th video removed. People can still see that on Subscribestar and Patreon, and you can also see that on Odyssey and Rumble. People can watch Crowdsource the Truth on lots of alternative social media platforms, alternatives to the mainstream, of course. We're on Telegram. I really don't. Telegram needs some updates. The guy who makes it was saying that somehow the Apple Store is screwing with him. So hopefully Telegram will be improved soon. We are doing simulcasts and live streams on there, but it doesn't store those. So I appreciate Telegram. I hope it will grow, but I'm not 100% with it. But yeah, people will be able to watch Sunday with Charles in the First Amendment Forum. Today's theme is going to be Total Wreck 3. Search for Croc, based on a really excellent Star Trek movie from when I was a kid. Now, I'm on 27th Street here. This is a side street right near where I live. This is the famous Rossman Repair Group. I just saw a video from Louis Rossman the other day. He's leaving New York. I presume that means that store will leave as well. That is a very useful and unique business, and the reason why I wanted to walk by there today to talk about that is that one of the things that made New York great prior to the pandemic and the rise of this sort of criminal economy, we're going to be talking about that with Charles during today's regular program. But Rossman Repair Group is not the same as You Break It, I Fix It, or any Apple store that you might go to. They actually get involved in board level repair. Well, what does that mean? So, you know, if you are the type of person who uses a computer, but the concept of fixing it is like doing your own surgery on yourself, you're going to know that when your computer breaks and you take it to the Apple store, sometimes they have a quick software solution they can do right there. Sometimes they'll say, oh, you know, this computer, it's 2, 3, 5 years old, and something's wrong with it that can't be fixed with software or a new hard drive, or there's something wrong with the motherboard. Oh my gosh. This is like taking your car to the auto mechanic and they're telling you that the engine has failed. It's obviously a big expense. The motherboard is kind of the main thing in your computer that all the chips are kind of usually soldered onto, particularly if you're dealing with a laptop. And a problem with the motherboard, even if your computer is pretty old, is generally going to cost several hundred, if not more than $1,000. And for a lot of people, that's a lot of money. What the Rossman Repair Group will do that's so unique and interesting, and I really love this. This is how I first found it, but I didn't know that it was right around the corner from my apartment. But the board level repair means, what's wrong with the motherboard? The whole thing didn't catch on fire and explode. There could be a 40-cent chip on there that's burned out. which if you could surgically remove it and replace it with a functional item, maybe instead of over $1,000, your thing could be fixed for 40 cents plus labor. Maybe that's 200 bucks instead of 1,500. But I have always really admired people who are able to fix things, and I like fixing things myself. There's such a sense of accomplishment when you can fix something. Your computer, your sink, your toilet, your oven, your refrigerator, your dryer. I've fixed all of those things. I mean, I can't fix everything. I fixed my air conditioner, not the compressor. Like once you get involved with gas and welding and all that stuff, obviously you need training to fix some of this stuff, but with YouTube and kind of do-it-yourself guides, you can fix a lot more items than you might realize. Anyway, what I'm getting at with New York and all this stuff closing down is the concept that you would have a store that would do board level repair on your computer. That's a super New York thing. In fact, when I was in college, there was a lot more of this. Unique businesses, camera shops that specialized in certain kind of stuff. A lot of them have closed. What was that guy's name? Ken Hansen, Photographic. I'm sure he's dead. He was an old man when we were in college. I shouldn't say that. Maybe he's super old. But he was a pretty old guy when we were in college. I loved that camera store. Closed. Olden Camera, closed. Calumet, closed. So now all we have is Adorama and B&H Photo. And, you know, as Amazon takes over and all these stores close, are you going to sell some Hillary Clinton what about her email hats? No? Good for you. I appreciate that. That hat is stupid as hell. Hillary Clinton's got some real balls putting that hat out right at the time they break into Trump's house. Kind of a ballsy move, right? What do you guys think about that FBI crushing into Trump's house?
Oh, that was
not cool, right? They could do it to you if they could do it to Trump. What stops the FBI from coming and taking your stuff?
That wasn't right. That wasn't right.
Take it easy, guys. Hey, do me a favor. Be careful. Don't ride the bike on the sidewalk. People can get hurt.
I'm not riding it.
Thank you, man. See, I like that. We can talk to people, share ideas. I think people need to start realizing how dangerous it is to ride a bicycle on the sidewalk. And given that this guy was just hit by a bike, he wasn't on the sidewalk, he was crossing, but he had the right of way in the crosswalk, and he's in critical condition now. Did not down a handle of vodka while snorting 8 balls in a Mini. The guy was crossing the street. Got hit by a bike. Wow, look at that. JFK smoking weed. Wow. I have never seen that photo. That is something else. The Goodies shop. There's a ton of weed stores opening around. I mean, again, this is a cause for concern. I am pro marijuana legalization, like sort of like I'm pro money, right? Money is a thing. Obviously, money can cause problems for people, greed and theft and all that. But it's a tool and you need money. But when I noticed that 1 million banks were opening all over the place in 2007, I said to myself, boy, this seems weird. Why are there so many banks opening? And it's the same thing with the weed stores. It seems like it's kind of too many. It seems like it represents some sort of burgeoning problem. I hope not. But it is. I mean, there's just homeless people all over the place not being adequately cared for or dealt with. Or, I mean, given how freaked out everybody gets about whatever kind of pox are coming along, you'd think that people lounging in garbage would be something they'd want to address. Kind of clean it up. That guy's got something down his pants he's looking for. But yeah, we got garbage everywhere, homeless people everywhere. craziness going on. But I'm doing this video early today to remind everybody that at 3 p.m. Sunday with Charles will be taking place today in the First Amendment Forum on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. And this was Charles's request. He wants to be able to exercise the First Amendment. And please don't take the tack that it's, or the tack. Please don't presume that I am doing this to squeeze people for money. I'm not. What's actually happening is we should be thanking the sponsors, the viewer sponsors who sponsor Crowdsource the Truth, for creating this forum in which Charles can speak his mind. See, the old way of doing this, we would have just been slammed off of YouTube and there'd be no show. But because so many generous people have sponsored the show by going to subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth and becoming sponsors, because of those generous sponsors, we now have the opportunity for Charles to talk about what he wants to talk about. And the other thing that's great about you becoming a sponsor is that it sends a message to the social engineers that when they try to destroy Crowdsource the Truth by hitting the YouTube channels, it just makes me stronger, financially, of course, because you, the putative, the potential, I should say, viewer sponsor, can now evaluate this behavior and say, you know what, every time a social engineer attacks Crowdsource the Truth, we're going to become sponsors. Oh, look at that Lego bus. Wow. Never seen that before. But yeah, if the audience response to social engineering attacks is to strengthen Crowdsource the Truth, then obviously that will counteract their goal. How do you like the new dog park?
Oh, we're going for the first time.
Aha! I think you'll like it. It's super fancy. Well, that's actually a good thing to talk about right here. I do love these skinny dogs. Is this a Whippet or an Italian Greyhound? Is this an Italian Greyhound?
Yes.
It's a very cute dog. Running away.
Yeah, well,
Does he speak Italian?
does he speak Italian?
Oh no, that would be an Italian Greyhound. Yeah, that is an Italian Greyhound. I always get the Whippet and the Italian Greyhound confused. Now, obviously the status of the dog park is not nearly as important as the things that are going on in the world, but it's interesting from the standpoint of, we remember how long this other dog park was closed and this temporary dog park was here. I thought it was fine, but they were rebuilding it. You know, that woman, obviously a local neighborhood person who hasn't been to the dog park yet. I was walking through here yesterday and I noticed that this new dog park is opened, and the thing that I found strange about it is it looks to me, non-dog expert, non-park expert, definite not dog park expert, but this looks expensive as hell to me, the refurbishment of this dog park. I mean, look at this. We have fancy, like, mini golf. What is going on in here? We got these hills. The dogs look skeptical. The dogs prefer dirt to fancy AstroTurf hills. But my first question is this really the best thing for money to be spent on? I mean, we have so many problems in this neighborhood. Do fancy rich people and their fancy rich dogs need this fancy of a dog park? I don't know. It seems like maybe putting more money towards the police, putting more money toward keeping bicycles out of the park might have been more important. I don't know. It just seems like with everything going on, this is a bit of a slap in the face to people who don't own fancy dogs that are super into canine couture. That dog there is wearing an interesting outfit. Can we see it? Canine couture. I don't know, it just seems to me like a lot of money spent on the wrong thing. Kind of like hiring 87,000 IRS agents when we really need more cops, less criminals running the FBI. Why do we need more FBI sorry, CI, or whatever, IRS agents. I mean, to me, this is a huge problem. I'm having a difficult time understanding if that bill has been passed, but they've been acting for days and weeks like it has, or that it's definitely going to, because they've already put out that ad, that want ad. I'm sure the IRS has already started hiring accountants who want to shoot people. But it's clear to me that that's just another federal police force, another overreach. The Constitution does not speak about the FBI, the CIA, the IRS, none of that stuff. The government just creates it, and we sit here and like, okay, yeah, give a bunch of idiots guns and let them break into our houses, violate our constitutional rights, take whatever they want, interfere. Well, if I say that, we'll be thrown off of YouTube, but a lot of people seem to think the FBI is interfering with a lot of different stuff. And it is true that Donald Trump has in the past participated in these things during which you elect people to office. So I don't know. You know, there's a way you can say things that get you in trouble. But anyway, I just wanted to come out early here to let everybody know that in 45 minutes we're going to have the regular Crowdsource the Truth. Right, people don't want more income taxes. I don't want more income taxes. But, you know, if a bunch of IRS agents knock at the door and they have guns and say, let us in, and you say, show us the warrant, and they say, we don't have to, and they say, well, let me get my lawyer here, and they say, no, let us in or we're going to shoot you, what are you going to do? You know, you rifle through your stuff, rifle through your wife's underwear, if you're married, maybe your underwear, who knows? But they'll rifle, and they'll have rifles. So I don't know what to do about this. I don't know if it's passed or if it's gonna pass. There's some more construction going on in this park over here. Charles mentioned that there's some sort of, you know, something other than the city pays to refurbish dog parks, like it's rich people giving their own money to do that. But I mean, even so, there's a fund, and I guess refurbishing the dog park is considered, you know, improving the quality of life or whatever it might be. I say again, if there's money to improve the park, I really think keeping criminals and dangerous people out is more important than that kind of refurb. But who knows? Who knows how these things get decided? It's another misappropriation, misallocation of assets, resources, etc. Really nuts. But anyway, we'll be back at 3 o'clock on Subscribestar and Patreon. There's those little fancy dogs dancing and flipping out. I guess they like the new dog park with their fancy clothing. Yeah, so First Amendment Forum with Charles Ortel coming up at 3 o'clock on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. Public service announcement, never leave a kid that small. Where's the parents? Where's this kid's parents? Maybe it's that woman in the flower dress. Don't let your kid out of your sight in New York City. My advice. But I'm not here to give advice other than to advise you to become a sponsor. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll be back in just a little while with Charles.